That was When You Say My Name by Chandler Leighton. And I'm very excited right now because she is in front of me. She just performed at Emo Night. I was actually starstruck in a way because not very often do I like walking, no less walking upstairs by any means, especially in like a 100-degree venue when the AC isn't properly turned on yet. But I heard Chandler sound checking and I immediately made my way upstairs to Bardot to see her. And
you were there during sound check.
Yep, I was there during sound check, not the real show.
Amazing.
I won't
You're
lie
like,
to you.
I saw enough.
But it sounded absolutely incredible. I saw so many pictures and videos from the performance, and I'm very honored right now to have Chandler in front of me. What's up?
Wow. I think during sound check I ran through that like 5 times. I decided to do the hardest song in the entire world, which is obviously Paramore. Hayley Williams is like just insane of a singer. And I was like, I wanted to do that because like I really wanted to challenge myself, especially before tour. I'm like, if I can sing the most challenging songs, it'll make my music feel a little bit easier. And speaking of no AC, during that song felt sweat. Like I've never sweat like that on stage. It just was pouring down the inside of my shirt and I was getting hot flashes on stage. And it was a lot, but it was really fun.
Hell yeah. No, it was awesome. It sounded incredible. And like every single person that came downstairs after was talking about your set upstairs. I don't know if it's because I had a flyer on my back with your name on it, but it was
looking for a bi girl and a band tee. Thank you to Sierra, my manager, for putting that on your back.
So funny. And yeah, no, everyone was talking about it. And you DM'd me and you're like, I would love to be on your show. And I'm like, man, I was just too shy to ask. So I'm so glad you asked.
I'm so happy that I'm here and that you have me.
I'm very excited because a lot of your songs I've been hearing everywhere, like everywhere on the internet at this point.
That's good.
I've been hearing them on TikTok. I've been hearing them on my daily mix. I've been hearing them on idobi, especially.
I feel like with the algorithm, I can never tell. So this is good news for me.
And I think there was about 45 million other people who heard the first song we played as well. So just talk about it was an album you dropped, right? Or was it an EP?
Album.
Full album. You just dropped it within the last couple months. And
my first one.
That's a debut?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I assumed this was a follow-up project and it was just not on
She's a fresh little baby.
Damn.
I didn't release When You Say My Name technically wasn't on the EP, but my first EP came out in 2022.
Damn.
Yeah, in September, and then the album came out finally in April.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What a debut record it is.
Holy
hell.
It was hard, I think, with that one, because like I had come from the electronic side. Like I started in EDM. Like my first song was with Millennium. And so then I switched over to singer-songwriter because I was like, oh, I don't want to be pigeonholed in this genre. And so we took the album and kind of split it like from disc 1 to disc 2 to kind of have like both of those elements of like the past, electronic side while also like the sad indie singer-songwriter. So I think that was my favorite part about that album, is like being able to do both genres and have it kind of be like separated instead of releasing 2 different projects, which I almost did. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And something I admired about you doing the Paramore cover is just you showcasing your vocals too. Because I feel like in a lot of your songs, especially like the singles, it's very melodic and great, but it's not the belting that I might have heard in Ain't It Fun?
Because it's terrifying. I realize it's so much easier to do it in a studio, obviously, because you get, a million takes and controlled sound in there. And I think I was telling my friends this before I went on. I was like, singing like that into a microphone is a new thing, because like learning how hard you're pushing and like all the sound that's happening around, I'm like, that's what was scaring me. I was like, it's like being afraid of your own voice. And I'm like, I've never sang like this on a stage before, so that to me is new but exciting. And I want to continue to make more music like that, because I agree, I feel like a lot of my stuff is very here and bassy and like the When You Say My Name kind of stuff, and I definitely want to start getting more into that part of myself, which I've been afraid to.
Well, I think anything you put out at this point is going to do pretty well. Just looking at Spotify right now and the internet in general.
It is hard to keep those numbers.
I mean, debut record, and you have 1.1 million right now on Spotify. That's 1,100,000 people listening to you every month.
It's so weird to think that. And like talking about, going on tour, it'll be so cool to finally see these people face to face, like they're real. Because for so long, we just see them as numbers, and the people that reply to the comments and Instagram and TikTok. And like finally, I get to see that these are just real people and not just these analytics, And now they actually like get to mean something. So I'm excited for that.
But now with the album out and everything, obviously there's music videos, and now I know you have a very big part in the vision of your project. So talk about shooting the music videos to correspond with these songs right now.
So when I'm trying to think of like the first big music video, I guess like A Letter to Everyone Who's Hurt Me. I met my co-director Haley, who is incredible. She saw me perform at like an open mic. And it was that song, A Letter to Everyone Who's Hurt Me. And we started getting this idea of incorporating dance in all my videos, and have like motifs. Like if you notice, there's a lot of black and white and red and black. And like the colors represents like adulthood and childhood. And I try to keep everything kind of like a story and give it a storyline. So it's like every music video that follows has a reference to like the last one.
Yeah.
And I studied film and audio production in college. So like I love being a part of the aspect of music videos. And I think like it's cool to tell a separate story than what other people think the song is about.
Ooh, I like that.
But Jesse, Lynn, and Jax, like for the extra music video, like they directed that one, and that one was so much fun to do. I wish they weren't so expensive because I would have music videos for every single song. But yeah, it's cool. I think it gives the song like a brand new meaning behind it. And I used to write like a ton of stories as a kid. And so I think finally getting to like use that creative part of myself in like my music videos is like really fun to do separate than just the music part.
That's awesome. And being such a visual artist, now, does that put a lot of pressure on you to get out content more often, especially on TikTok and everything?
I think it makes it a lot harder to make the content that does well for me. Meaning, like, I wish I could just have the high quality content and showcase, like, the art side and... Get it out. Get the scratch.
You're going to get banned from interviews.
Like, the algorithm doesn't want that, sadly. It's like, Hayden and I talk about this all the time. Like, we'll make a car video. We'll sit in the car and everyone loves to make fun of those videos, you know what I mean? But somehow those are the ones that do well. And I put a bunch of money and hours into like these high quality music videos, and then they don't do well. And so I think it's frustrating, definitely as a creative artist, to like feel like the high vision is not what the algorithm wants to see, but more of like, hey, but more of like, I get it though. People want to feel like relatable content and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's hard.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, 100%. And coming up in a landscape of the current musical landscape that it is, and especially in Los Angeles right now. And when did you start the project? Because if you started in 2020, or you put out the EP in 2022, shows weren't exactly shows yet. Yeah. I feel like shows didn't become shows until like mid 2022, early 2023 again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how fast everything is changing too. Like, even I used to sit on my bathroom floor and those videos would do well. Yeah. And it's like now I could barely get like even 1% of my followers to see my stuff. Jeez. Nowadays. Yeah. And it's like it used to be so like easy because during COVID, it's like artists finally had the time to like sit down and hone in on their craft. And if you were lucky enough to start posting during that time period of 2020, that's how like we all, I feel like, came up really, really easily because not a lot of people were on the platform, and now it's super oversaturated. And so it's very competitive with content. And so now we have to get a lot more creative with how we're doing our videos. And, everything kind of just changes so fast. So it's hard to keep up with all of that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And now, what was the first live show like? Because I got to see a very refined, or refined or finished product.
You're like better.
A very developed set.
Oh God. I wouldn't even want to look at those videos of my old shows. Like, I was so timid and so scared. Like, mind you, I grew up in musical theater and dance my whole life. So like being on the stage is my favorite place to be. However, I started out as an indie like singer-songwriter. So I think learning again, like the Paramore stuff on stage was so much harder for me to do because I never had voice lessons.
Yeah.
And so like I'd sit there and I'd like listen to her voice over and over and over again and like try to learn how she sings. But oh God, no, my first show was, it's interesting to see because I used to hide behind my guitar because I was too like afraid to like move on the stage. And then I realized how that made me uncomfortable. And I was like, I want to dance and I want to make music that makes people want to move and laugh and da 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 da. And so I just started playing more shows and like started to kind of like get used to that and get out of my comfort zone. But I kept having to do like the small shows to kind of get out of that. But it definitely took me a hot minute.
Damn. Yeah. Well, would never guess that it's only been 2 years.
Yeah, that's actually, I think, the first song I put out was 2019. And that was the one with Millennium.
Damn.
But I had been writing lyrics since like only when I was 19 years old. I met James Young, who's the writer of Infinity and Thank You for the Happiest Year of My Life. And I DM'd him on Instagram and I was like, dude, would love to write with you. Had not written a single song in my life.
Yeah.
Had no idea what I was doing. I get there and was just like so, I guess, starstruck. Now he's my best friend. But at the time I was like, you're such a profound writer. And I wanted to learn everything that I could from that guy. And so for the last like 10 years, he had been like honing me into a songwriter. Shout out, James. I love you.
That's awesome. And now you have two incredible collaborations that I know about, the Millennium one and then also with Low Spirit. So talk about that a little bit, just collaborating with different artists.
That came from TikTok, surprisingly.
Really?
I posted, because there's an original version of Let It Go before he jumped on it.
Okay.
And then I posted on TikTok and he was like, dude, would love to make a song together. And I was like, I DM'd him. I was like, well, what about the one that you commented on? And then I just sent him it and he just absolutely ripped. And I was like, we have to put this out. And then I literally posted a TikTok of me brushing my teeth and then somehow that blew up. And now the song is continuously doing well. Like it has about like, I guess 10 million streams now. And I'm like, that's crazy. He's so good.
Damn.
He's like one of the craziest singers I've ever heard.
So good.
But yeah, same thing. Like with the James and the Low Spirit and Nick, Millennium, it was all just from messaging them online. Mind you, it was a lot easier to do that back then. I feel like it's much harder. And it was also more like direct. Like it wasn't just like messaging someone. It was like, oh, I want to like do this. Like I had sent Millennium that demo of Lonely and it was just that demo. And I was like, I made this specifically for you. And I think with Let It Go, with Low Spirit too, is kind of the same thing. It was like this song, like for you. And I think it made the experience a lot more wholesome, and genuine. But yeah, those are really cool. Really, really fun. Same with like my friends Desi. I have like a collab with Meg Smith. Like those are all just from messaging each other on the internet. It's crazy.
That's so sick.
Instagram, very powerful.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Now, anything else that you have planned for 2024? I mean, we're basically fully through the year right now. Hopefully, you're buying me a new microphone thingy because that keeps falling.
With my whole $20 in my bank account that I woke up to this morning and I was sweating. Go on tour, they said. It'll be fine, they said.
You will go broke,
you will be broke. Yeah, for everyone who wants to go on tour, mind you, it's really expensive.
Now, 2024 is almost done, but the way you're growing, 3-4 months in a year could make the biggest difference to your personal career at this point. So what else do you have planned for the year?
Honestly, just focusing on, I feel like the tour has taken a lot because I've never done this. And mind you, I'm not signed to a major label. So I've had to come up with like the funds myself. So like, I think right now I'm just getting through this part. But when I come back, I want to work on the next album. So I'm really excited about that. I feel like I already have half of it done, but now I just want to like continue writing and just try to get like the best stuff out of that. But yeah, hopefully another album very soon.
Hell yeah. I love that. And the debut record is entitled, you could correct me if I'm wrong, you don't have to agree with me. I'm really bad with remembering things, but the proof that you're not the only one.
Proof you weren't the only one.
God damn
yes.
it, I was so
close. So fucking
I was
close.
like, I love this title so much.
It came from one of the lyrics of Got What I Wanted, ironically enough, also about what we were talking about in the beginning. You're like, oh, you hit 1 million monthly listeners. I overdrafted my bank account when that had happened. It like came in that year in 2022 in October, and like my mom calls me and she's like, you overdrafted your account. And I was like, but I have 1 million monthly listeners. How is that possible? And so I wrote Got What I Wanted, which one of the lines is like, proof you weren't the only one. And it's about just like feeling all of these ways.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, either way, congratulations on everything. Very excited to see what the tour does for you. Very excited to see what your debut record continues to do for you and what the future music's going to do, because I know you're going to be a huge artist, or an even bigger artist comes next year.
Thank you.
So very excited to watch the growth. And how can everyone keep up with you? What's the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok?
Chandler Leighton on all platforms, and that's Leighton, Leigh2N. Like Leighton Meester, Chandler Bing.
Hell yeah. I love it. Amazing. So I want to play one more song from you before we get going. What song do you want me to play for everyone?
Ooh, play Touching Me.
The new single. Here is Touching Me by Chandler Leighton.